injured here. 2v2 Medean Cliff Mines blue team. We've got DJ Raffa plays a Plague Champion and starts out range combat with this damage of a time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow. Alongside Commissar Sebastian, Yarrick plays a Commissar Lord, good offense and support, fights in melee combat, begins with an energy shield. This is Death Core of Krieg, recolored to resemble Steel Legion, hence the gas masks. Red team, Jamona is a Techmarine, starts out range combat with this bolter, does some good damage, can also get a melee weapon, support with structures and repair, and deal with vehicles quite nicely, some Blood Ravens. And alongside, rounding out the teams, is Toilailee, plays a Mekboy, teleporting commander that fights range combat, some good damage output, can also support, disrupt, build structures and repair, but is not the toughest little orc, just 600 hit points. Tactical Marines capping bottom for Jamona. Raffa with a rather standard heretics either side of Chaos Space Marines, and Yarrick with double sentinels. Plague Champion alongside the Commissar Lord can be a pretty potent combo in tier 1 with the Aura of Discipline and Breath of Nurgle heal. Can really heal up your shooty blobs and keep them going. Techmarine chased down by heretics. These guys are now going to flank the Tactical Marines, which are behind this light cover here, this barbed wire. Heretics and Chaos Space Marines moving in. Chaos Space Marines have lost the model here. Scouts now moving in. The flank did not quite work out. Just 75 hit points per model on the full heretics. They are so fragile. Some Nurgle worship here, and Jamona's forced off. Thought he was going to try and force melee combat on his Tactical Marines, but they're forced off anyway. Now he can cap and put a bit of pressure on the node. What's going on here? Yarrick pushing with double sentinel, just killed a whole bunch of orcs. Shooters and some dead guardsmen there as well. And it's double Tactical Marines from Jamona. Been seeing this quite a bit recently in team games. Double Tax is back. Noisy Elmer uses it a lot with his Apothecary. Also seeing a couple of Techmarines now use it. 469, 487. This Sentinel badly needs repairs. They both have the ground pound, gives them 100 more health and that awesome ability. Yeah, you see this Sentinel goes down though, yes. Was pretty crazy to keep it there with double shooters, triple shooters even. Sluggers moving in, Commissar Lord needs to run away. Shield goes down, this other Sentinel in trouble now. Did he just stomp thin air? I think it did. 469, 487. What is he doing? Gonna lose both Sentinels here. Oh dear. Yeah. He used a stomp by mistake. I think maybe he hit the hotkey to repair with his guardsman and had the Sentinel selected by mistake. Yarrick losing 2 Sentinels early on. That is a big blow. They both had the ground pound as well, so he is pretty far behind now against Toilailee. But this triple shooters is going to put out some serious range DPS in tier 1. Going to be expensive to upgrade all of them though. He has big shooters on 2 of the squads. The other one is default, and down goes that node. Yarrick now with double guards, and not much he can do here though against triple shooters. He uses the lead by example on his power sword. 442, 487. The shield has gone down though, and now it's double guardsmen versus sluggers and triple shooters. Sluggers are forced off, did well there, but now these guys are suppressed and they're going to get shot to bits out of cover like they are. Here's the Mekboy as well to weigh in with his range fire, and they are forced off. He's going to lose this power now, and a Mekboy turret going up. Don't see him very often. It recently changed, of course. They no longer suppress, but are much cheaper and still retain some decent range. As you can see, they don't do the highest amount of damage, but we'll see if it helps him hold this power. Looking pretty dire for blue team here. 382, 487, triple cap for red. Jamona with those double Tactical Marines and Assault Marines now. A really strong tier 1 build, expensive, but scales incredibly well with the anti-vehicle options you get immediately with double tax and Assault Marines, melter bombs, missile launchers. Double tax are forced off. Those heretics doing incredibly well there. Assault Marines jumping in, forcing off Chaos Space Marines. These guys are a jump troop, as you saw, disrupting squads when they land. Awesome at countering all ranged squads, especially setup teams. Fighting melee combat with bolt pistols and chainsaws. Don't do a huge amount of damage, but 400 hit points per model can make them incredibly difficult to deal with. There's another jump. to disrupt the CSM. Raffa's Havocs were the ones that were forced off, I'm sorry. But look at this though. Plague Sword is up for the Plague Champion. Quite an expensive tier 1 weapon, but a powerful power melee sword. Ignores melee resistance aura, so that's 40% more damage to melee squads and some other stuff as well. Tactical Marines and Devastators have melee resistance aura also, so you can rack up some serious kills against heavy armor foes. He's also gone for Fetid. Creates those zombies, of course. We just saw him jump that zombie assault marine, which is one of the best usages of it. Look at this, double orc turrets on this power. We have spotters. I'm pretty sure their smoke shell does shut down the range of defense structures as well, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. Maybe he's got flamers up on his guardsmen, which will burn down those turrets if they can dare to get close enough. Triple turrets up here. Toilailee having some fun. Heretics catching shooters in retreat. Nicely done by Raffa. Down to 3 models now. Trying to get that last model, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Maybe he can turn and get some. He's forgotten about his heretics, I think. He's too busy over here fighting some Assault Marines. Havocs all set up right in the face of these guys. Assault Marines jump does have a minimum range, so they can't jump those Havocs. And Raffa did run his heretics into that base, I think, and lost them. 315, 487 heretics get jumped on retreat and go down. It's looking so bad for blue team now. 315, 487, Raffa replacing one of his heretics. Yarrick still with these spotters and takes down all of the turrets. They might have been scuttled though as well, or scavenged, or whatever you want to call it. All the turrets down. He could push and bash power, and in fact he's going to do so here. Toilailee hasn't got any knob leaders and hasn't upgraded his last shooter squad either. Sluggers without their burners, Mekboy with no war gear, so he's going to go tier 2, maybe into a quick death dread, but most likely a weird boy. Artillery spotters dropping their smoke shell reduces range of enemy weapons to almost nothing. It's incredibly annoying to fight against it. It still seems to affect you even if you leave the smoke, much like the Basilisk Flare. There's the mortar shell, which will disrupt that blob. Nicely done. Really good knockback strength on that. And shooters are forced off because of those spotters. He's going to need to try and split his shooters up a lot better. Now he's trying to focus down the Commissar Lord. 315, 476. Sluggers getting roasted though by those flamers and are forced off. Yarrick starting to push this side somehow. Toilailee perhaps wasting his resources on those triple turrets. Not sure if he did get to scavenge any of them for resources back. There's a zombie tactical marine from this sword, which is kicking some serious ass already. Havoc's gonna set up in the face. No, setting up in a strange direction. Techmarine is forced off though, and Raffa will cap mid. And somehow blue team getting themselves back into this game. I think he has not had to defend this power at all, Raffa. I don't think Jamona's made a push at it. What is this? That's the Basilisk Flare. Incredibly annoying, reducing range by half. It does affect friendly units as well though, I believe. 315, 476, only 75 red, that global. I thought it was like 125 or something. Whoa, amazing special from that Plague Sword. Wow, racking up the zombies. Plague Champion starting to boss in melee combat. He's level 2 now. Havoc's covering the middle as best they can. They do have a pretty decent firing arc, and they of course suppress instantly. Death Dread on the way for Toilailee's gone for. Was expecting a weird boy. Death Dread with his burners can go and burn down power pretty quickly. This is the Aura of Discipline up on the Commissar Lord. Yarrick does like to use this thing. It's an awesome heal as well, alongside Marines especially. If you have some Marine allies, you can make them incredibly tanky. There's the spotters. Yarrick using them well, keeping them way out of line of sight of the enemy, just using the ability. There's the electric armor from the mech. Damage over time around him, but it does drain his energy and it's going to be forced off here. There's another shell. They can upgrade their shells to get an incendiary shell in tier 2 also upgrades the damage of their default mortar shell. Havoc's shooting up the Techmarine in retreat path, but he'll be fine. And there's another zombie tactical marine. How many marines has this guy killed? Ogrin's on the way for Yarrick. Pretty decent choice actually. Can go toe to toe with the Death Dread and will most likely take it down. I think especially with some Commissar Lord support, he might even inspire courage them for the double damage, which is risky. Of course, you lose a model. Shooters capping there, 290, 446. Ogrins are going to hit the field. They're pretty damn expensive, 450, 90, and then you need to purchase the Bernard Leader, which is another 30 power, and they don't even have 2,000 hit points when you do that. I don't think it's 18 something, but it is super heavy infantry armor. And Imperial Guard do have a lot of support, but a lot of that support is seemingly geared towards supporting ranged blobs, especially with the Lord General. Here we go then. They do have heavy melee damage though on all of the models, so they're going after that Death Dread. Heavy melee damage does good damage to all targets. Half of that damage will be done to vehicles, with full damage to all infantry targets. There's a special attack knocking down the Mekboy, and he is forced off. Double Death Dreads for Toilailee. This is going to be awesome to see. Can he take down one of them? Is that going to be too much? Death Dreads do, I think it's around 60 heavy melee DPS, but they do have that splash damage, and he's going after the Ogrins here. Smack. Burners up on one of the Death Dread, which does boost its health, I think, to 1050. Yes, the other one down at just 650. Ogrins are forced off. 2 Death Dreads, too much for them to deal with. He's going to need a las cannon or something. Maybe some anti-armor stormtroopers would be good. Sluggers just about getting away. Good grief, Death Dreads murdering scores of guardsmen. 237, 446. Spotters can't do a whole lot to these guys. Jamona now pushing Raffa back to his power, taking down a generator, but there's the Havoc with that instant suppression spreading to these tactical marines as well. We do have a sergeant, you see him there with that banner, bolt pistol and chainsword, pretty decent in melee combat. Also gives them the Andasia no fear ability, which is pretty annoying to face. Gives them 50% chance to knock back melee squads with their attacks, and I think it's 40% damage resistance. Here come some Devastators. What were they up to? We do have a Chaos Dreadnought around for Raffa. He's using recoloured word bearers, by the way, which is why that Dreadnought looks different. Assault Marine Zombie, one of the best zombies to have since you can jump it and disrupt things. Doesn't jump it though. It does have a lot of options against this Dreadnought. You could get a las cannon, you could get missile launchers, all of the AV that a Techmarine has, orbs, melter gun, and a melter bomb. So that Death Dread could be in trouble next engagement. Down goes the Commissar Lord. He has the Xenos Power Claw. 85 DPS heavy melee. Mekboy now repairing this Death Dread. The other Death Dread did go down though. We have a Death Gun up, also a suppression weapon for the Mekboy, and he can teleport around while he's still set up. 177, 446. Red team with a 2-to-1, down goes the generator. Here come the Ogrins, pretty low on health though. Sluggers moving in on them. And there's the user red, that disruption and speed increase for the Ogrins, trying to tank this damage here. This Death Dread I think was still on range stance, now it's switched. Is that the incendiary shell? I think it is, and that is doing some serious work. Good grief, a terrible engagement for Toilailee. Lost his Death Dread, lost a bunch of infantry, down to 2 shooters now. That was really, really bad. He's teleported right into the face, and as you can see, the flare still affecting the Mekboy, even though he teleported way out of the area of effect there, the visual anyway. Such an annoying ability. A 75 red, grief. Plague Champion almost level 3. If he kills one of these Marines, he will be level 3. Can he tie up the Devastators? He can. And I see absolutely no attempt by Jamona to counter this Dreadnought. It looks like he's gone tier 3 for a tank, I assume. That could be a huge mistake. Almost lost that Tactical Marine squad. Marco Zinch, Chaos Space Marines level 2, fully upgraded with Aspiring Champion and Eternal War. These guys spitting out unholy amounts of damage to infantry now at range. Those tactical people probably take down a couple of tactical marine squads by themselves, depending on cover. Really nicely timed, spot a shell there, and down go the sluggers. Stun bombs from the stick bombers, and there's a smoke shell as well. Smoke shell does not share a cooldown with the incendiary or the regular shell, so you can use them both one after the other. Here we have orbs of the ominous sight up for the Techmarine. Can he hit it though? He does have advanced targeting, which is perhaps why we haven't seen a las cannon. 141401. Havoc's now suppressing the assault marines. Are they going to jump it? They should. No sign of a missile launcher, no sign of a melter gun. He has a lot of upkeep. He just purchased something. What did he get? He's going for Stern Guard veterans. Really? Why? Suppose he wants those vengeance rounds. Missile launcher is generally a better choice. Spot a shell on the shooters, which are capping. 141, 381 was a mistake, I think, for Jamona to go tier 3. And Raffa's now tier 3 and he's getting some heretics up. Help him support this dreadnought with repairs. The plague champion himself can repair, of course. He's now level 3, well into level 3. Toilailee keeping the pressure up on the north despite his heavy losses. Has those stick bombers, which are very dangerous. There's a smoke shell on the Mekboy. You see the effect it has to his range. And was close to going down there. Commissar might get a hit. Does get a hit, but it's not enough to take him down. Stick bombs getting stuck on the cliffs. 133, 381. We do have a heavy weapon squad up for Yarrick. He's gone for a las cannon for some reason. No vehicles on the field for red team. Suppose it's nice to have in case a looted tank comes out, but I would have waited. Maybe get an autocannon instead. Autocannon's recently buffed. Their firing burst now lasts 1 second longer, I believe. 118, 381. Chaos Terminators on the field. Super heavy infantry Terminator variants with twin linked bolters and power fists by default. These guys also demoralize nearby enemies whenever they make a kill, but they only start with 3750 hit points, which is quite low for a Terminator variant. They can get worship support, but Nurgle worship isn't going to help them a whole lot. 101, 381. Stick bombers caught in retreat by Ogrins. Do they live? It's going to be close. Do they not live? And Toilailee is down to double shooters and nothing else. He's gonna save for a battle wagon, I think, and blue team storming back into this game. Jamona totally not doing enough to deal with this dreadnought at all. Should be dead already by all rights. With the stuff he has, double tax, assault marines, that Techmarine, and devastators, this dreadnought should still not be marching around. Scouts are going to wipe, down they go. The assault marines jump into Havocs, and now what are they up to? Plague champion moves in with that sword, which has done so much work for Raffa. Chaos Terminators teleporting out, they can't retreat, of course. And he's going to take that VP, is he? Stern Guard veterans using their vengeance rounds, good damage to all targets. Mainly used to combat vehicles. We have the vengeance rounds loaded into the devastators as well. Heavy bolter. And a beamy death gun for the mech. Huge amount of damage from this thing. Only got one shot off though, I think. 96, 363. Here comes Yarrick. And blue team are going to have a triple after that start. That is amazing. Raffa lost both of his heretics. Yarrick lost both of his sentinels. Toilailee perhaps mucking around a bit, getting those triple turrets up. Not sure how much that affected him. 96, 345. Triple cap for blue team. And flash kits from the field for Toilailee. Getting their blasters, which are area of effect weapons. Very powerful ones also, but they do have a chance to knock back the flash kits themselves when they fire them. These spotters have been used so well. The power of that smoke shell is amazing. Triple cap still, and I don't see a way back for red. Toilailee just lost too much stuff. Jamona's Techmarine is down here. Toilailee needs to get a weird boy up, I think. Really surprised I didn't see him get one when the Ogrins hit the field. Terminator's up for Jamona. Can't do a whole lot though with them. Maybe get their flamer and try and kill some stuff, but Ogrins alongside that Commissar Lord with the Fist of Brockus now. Another incredibly annoying ability that the Commissar has. You need to focus him down when you see it. If you can, they're chasing into base hit. None of these models will die with this ability up, and he's healing them anyway with Aura of Discipline. You see how big that heal is? Look how much he's healing those Ogrins for. Is that an incendiary shell on base? There's a Rocks. That could be very, very nasty. Yarrick trying to dodge it, but was suppressed by base turrets. I don't think that was an incendiary shell. I think that was cleansing flame from this heavy flamer. And red team actually conceding at the end. The entire map almost blew after that terrible start they had. Just goes to show, don't give up. Your opponent can mess up as well, just as bad. Autocannon on the Chaos Terminators at the end. Let's look at the commanders. This Plague Champion was awesome. Level 3 had the Mucus Discharge at the end, killed a lot of Marines with that Plague Sword. Yarrick's Commissar Lord level 4 had the Xenos Power Claw, then switched to the Fist of Brockus and that Aura of Discipline. Techmarine level 2 and down had Orks, don't think he had anything else, and Toilailee, Mekboy level 3 with a couple of weapon upgrades and the electric armor. Thank you for watching guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.